So you're gonna remain in custody on that matter, regardless of what I do with these misdemeanors. So you've got a warrant. You've got a warrant out of South Tucson City Court on a theft matter. I'm gonna release you on that matter. And I'll give you a court date of October 15th at 10 o'clock. Who's talking in the background?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor. That was my radio.
All right, thank
I'll put
you.
it down.
All right, October 15th, 10 o'clock on South Tucson. And then you've got another matter. This is in Pima County Justice Court, a warrant on a drug paraphernalia and trespassing charge. I'm releasing you on that as well. The court date is October 28th at 8:30. But as I say, you will remain in custody on that probation matter until that's resolved. You're excused.
How do I resolve that?
How? You're gonna have a court date and an attorney. So you talk to your attorney about that, okay? You're excused. Hello, what's your name?
John Fusco.
Yeah, one moment.
Sure.
Okay, Fusco.
Yeah.
Mr. Fusco, you have several misdemeanor matters. You have an arrest warrant out of South Tucson City Court on a shoplifting charge. The judge there is asked that I hold you on a $1,000 bond, which I will do, and you're gonna be seen on Monday, the 30th at 10 a.m. on video on that matter. You also have some cases in Tucson City Court. You're charged with criminal trespass and possession of drug paraphernalia. This is from July 1st. And then you failed to appear in court on July 15th. You were charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and trespassing. This one is from May the 8th of this year. You failed to appear on May 21st. And then you were charged with possession of drug paraphernalia. This is from March of this year. And let's see. You were in custody for a while on a felony matter. Then you were released and you failed to appear. Looks like you were given an order to show cause hearing and you failed to appear on that as well. What's your problem with getting to court, sir?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't have one.
All right. I'm gonna set a $250 bond. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you. And setting a video review for October 4th at 1:45.
Okay.
Excused.
How are you doing, Your Honor?
Hello, what's your name?
Chase Waxy.
Okay. case. You are charged with minor driving after drinking, liquor law violation, and possession of liquor, open container in a vehicle. We're going to order that you not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. I am going to release you from custody. This is a Sarita Municipal Court matter. Your court date there is October 29th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, you're excused.
Next.
Hello, what is your name?
Jeremy Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, you were arrested for false reporting to a law enforcement officer today. Just a moment. You were cited on June 21st with trespassing. You failed to appear on July 3rd. And you were cited for criminal trespass. This was from March 30th of this year. And you failed to appear in court on April 30th. So why can't we get you to come to court and take care of this business?
Not quite sure.
Let's see. $250 bond, city public defender appointed. Video review is October 4th at 1:45.
You guys gave me a different ID.
I'm
So
sorry?
you gave me a different identity,
What do you mean I gave you a different identity?
the state of Arizona. Yeah, and then you guys got
I have
Okay.
no idea. What's your name?
Anderson, SON,
What's your first name?
Jeremy.
Okay, these files all have your name on them, so I'm presuming it's you.
Well,
You can, if there's a problem with, if,
10-186.
okay, if there's a problem with your identity, you can talk to your lawyer about it. You're excused.
Okay, we'll change your birthday to.
Hello, what's your name?
Yes, sir. William Huffman, sir.
Okay, Mr. Huffman, you were charged with trespassing. This is from September 21st of last year, and it looks like you were in custody for a while. Well, now it says, never appeared out of custody. You were seen on April 4th, given a court date of May 20th, and you did not appear. You were charged with being in the park after hours. This one is from 2019. And you failed to appear on that as well. Trespassing and possession of drug paraphernalia. This one is from 2019 as well. You failed to appear. These are all fairly simple. Why didn't you just come to court and take care of it one way or the other?
They have been taken care of, sir.
No, they have not. What makes you think they had, quote, been taken care of?
I had went to a court for it.
Well, if you went to a court, you didn't go to this court, Tucson City Court. I don't know where you went, but it wasn't the right one. If I release you, do you think you can make it to court?
Yes, sir.
Correct court, 103 East Alameda downtown.
Yes, sir.
October 29th, 2:30 is your court date.
Sir.
Don't have any contact with alleged victims. Stay away from the incident locations. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You're
Yes,
excused.
sir.
Good evening, Judge.
Good evening. All right. Hello, what's your name?
Hola, Luis.
I'm sorry, say again?
Your Honor, this is the Spanish interpreter matter.
Oh, okay. That was Mr. Tanya's.
The interpreter is available, Your Honor, and ready.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. You've been charged with aggravated robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and with armed robbery.
Entonces a usted se le está acusando de robo a mano armada, así también como agresión utilizando un arma y otro cargo de robo a mano armada.
I'm ordering that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victims and stay away from the incident location.
Voy a ordenar que usted no se pueda poner en contacto con las supuestas víctimas y tampoco regrese al lugar del incidente.
You are not to possess any firearms or other weapons,
Usted no puede portar ningún tipo de armas
and you are not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
y tampoco debe de consumir ningún tipo de alcohol o drogas.
And I'm also ordering that you have no contact with your co-defendant, Javier Villalobos.
Y tampoco puede tener contacto con su coacusado, que es Javier Villalobos.
The state is asking that I hold you on a $75,000 bond with pretrial services supervision if that bond is posted. And we're
La,
going,
fis-
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
la Fiscalía recomienda que se fije una fianza de $75,000 y si es que llega a pagar esa fianza va a salir siendo supervisado por la agencia preprocesal.
Does the defense have any objection to those suggestions?
No, Your Honor, I would just like to be heard on the bond, but obviously no objection
No,
as to the.
that's what I'm
representations.
talking about, the bond.
Oh, okay. My apologies, Judge. So as to the bond, we would be requesting release at this time. That is for a variety of reasons, Judge. I let the interpreter go.
Entonces el abogado de oficio está solicitando que usted quede en libertad.
Would you like to explain your variety of reasons?
Yes, certainly, Judge. So Mr. Canes has absolutely no criminal history of any kind.
El abogado menciona que usted no tiene ningún tipo de antecedentes penales.
He has family support. His mother can provide third-party custody and transport.
Él tiene apoyo familiar, su mamá puede traerlo a las fechas de corte.
And Mr. Canes is employed as a cook, so he has gainful employment.
Y el señor Cañez está empleado, él trabaja como cocinero.
And Judge, if you're not inclined to release, we just ask that you consider a $5,000 bond, please.
Y su señoría, si usted no decide por dejarlo en libertad, entonces quisiéramos que usted considerara una fianza de $5,000.
And my apologies, Judge. I just learned that an immigration hold came through. I wasn't aware, so we would be asking for a nominal bond.
Y me acabo de enterar que él tiene una detención por parte de inmigración, entonces sí le solicitamos que fije una fianza mínima.
Okay, thank you. We'll hear from the prosecution.
Gracias. Ahora vamos a escuchar al fiscal.
Judge, given that he has an immigration hold in the nature of the offense where he pistol whipped the victim and had somebody else with him at the time, the pretrial services report notes that he did have a pending charge. So that's the reason we're asking for the $75,000 bond.
A su señoría, debido a que él tiene una detención por parte de inmigración y debido a la naturaleza del delito, que él portaba un arma y que también traía a una persona junto con él, estamos solicitando y también nos enteramos que él tiene un cargo pendiente. Entonces, por eso quisiéramos que se fije la fianza de los $75,000.
Okay. Give me one moment.
Un momento.
There we go. All right. I'm going to set bond in the amount of 75,000. Next court date is October 7th at 1:30. And the public defender is appointed. You're excused.
Voy a fijar una fianza de $75,000. Su siguiente fecha de corte es el 7 de octubre a la 1:30 y le voy a nombrar a un abogado de oficio para que lo represente. Eso es todo por hoy. Se puede retirar. Thank you. May the interpreter be excused, Your Honor?
Are there any other Spanish speakers that we need to see?
Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you're excused. Thank you.
You have a good night.
Your Honor, we went a little bit out of sequence, so this is Mr. Rivera.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rivera, Randy Rivera,
Yes, sir.
you're charged with burglary in the second degree, trafficking in stolen property, theft, and another trafficking charge. Let's get your case on the screen here. I'm going to order that you not have contact with any alleged victims, stay away from the incident location, do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or other weapons, and do not engage in selling merchandise or pawning. Contact your assigned parole officer on your first working day following release from custody. And I do note that you have a Department of Corrections hold. The state is requesting that I hold you on a $2,500 bond for time credit. with pretrial services supervision if posted. And is there any objection to that?
So, Your Honor, based on the pretrial services report, it looks like Mr. Rivera's sentence is ending on October 1st. So we were going to ask the court to consider release, but if you're not inclined, a nominal bond is what we would be asking, Judge.
Okay, and what would you regard as a nominal bond?
Your Honor, how about $1,000?
Okay. Let's hear from the prosecution.
Judge, given that he has 12 prior felony convictions and is on parole currently, we're asking for the $2,500 bond. That's appropriate.
Thank you. 2,500, October 7th, 1:30, public defender appointed. You're excused.
Back to you, okay? It's all the way around.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Ramon Acuña.
All right, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct involving a weapon. Actually, 2 counts of that. The state's asking that I hold you on a $15,000 bond and with pretrial services supervision if posted. I am going to order no acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and no firearms or other weapons, no contact of any kind with Isalia Ramirez Aguirre, and don't go to her home or workplace.
Yes, sir.
We'll hear from the state. I'm sorry, we'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Acuña is only 18 years old. He has absolutely no criminal history of any kind. His mother can provide third-party custody and transport. He's lived in Tucson 3 years. He's employed full-time. Your Honor, these are class 6 felonies. We anticipate a probation available plea coming his way. Given those factors, Your Honor, the $15,000 bond is excessive. We are asking you to consider release to pretrial services. Given those factors, Judge, thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from the state.
Judge, we're asking for the $15,000 bond given the nature of the offense where he discharged a firearm and admitted to discharging the firearm no more than 5 times in a residential area where the victim was living. For those reasons, Judge, we're asking for a $15,000 bond. We're lucky it wasn't more serious than what it was.
All right, thank you. set bond in the amount of 10,000. October 7th, 1:30 is your court date. Public defenders appointed, and you're excused. Good evening. What is your name?
Michael Castro.
Mr. Castro, you were charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault, 2 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, criminal damage, misdemeanor, domestic violence, threatening and intimidating, also a misdemeanor. I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, or possess any firearms or other weapons. Absolutely no contact with Leandra Barrett or Emily Barrett, and stay away from their home and workplaces. The state's asking me to hold you on a $40,000 bond, and we'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Castro has no failures to appear in the last 2 years. He's a lifelong Tucson resident. His last conviction is from 2013. The commission date on that is 2013. Given those factors, Judge, we are asking for a less than $40,000. Thank you.
Okay. We'll hear from the state.
Judge, given the nature of the offense where he stabbed the victim's mattress where she was sleeping 15 to 20 times, the fact that he has an active NDCA flag and 5 prior felony convictions, we're asking for the $40,000 bond.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually surprised that you didn't ask for more, but anyway, we'll go with the 40,000. October 7th, 1:30, and the public defender is appointed. You're excused, sir. Good evening. What's your name?
Luis Gamboa.
Gamboa, you're charged with misconduct involving weapons as a prohibited possessor. The state is asking that I hold you on a $15,000 bond with pretrial services supervision. If posted, at a minimum, I'm going to order that you not possess any firearms or other weapons, don't consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and don't go back to the incident location. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, the facts of this case are rather sad. Mr. Gamboa has witnessed a loved one lose her life right before him. We understand that the allegation is that he was not supposed to have a firearm. But given the totality of circumstances, Judge, we would be asking for one chance on pretrial services. But if you're not inclined, Your Honor, the $15,000 bond is high. We would be asking for a $3,000 bond. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll hear from the state.
Judge, given that he is a prohibited possessor and he had the gun and discharged it, per the interim complaint, it indicated that he admitted he shot another vehicle. I would assume if the vehicle was driving away that there were people in that. Granted, that's not in the interim complaint, but I think the court can consider the facts based on what is provided. He does have one prior felony conviction and a history of failing to appear, so that's why we're asking for the $15,000 bond.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $7,500. October 7th, 1:30 is your court date. Public defender appointed, and you are excused. Oh, wait a minute. We need to see him back. He's got another matter I missed.
Back. Yeah.
You got one more matter. So this is a misdemeanor in Oro Valley Town Court. You got a warrant on a shoplifting and drug paraphernalia charge. On that matter, I'll note that I'm holding you on the felony. I'm gonna release you on this misdemeanor warrant with a court date of October 30th at 10:30. No contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the incident location. Okay, that concludes it. You're excused. Good evening. What's your name?
Arnoldo Payanes.
Okay, you're charged, sir, with 6 counts of domestic violence, aggravated harassment. We'll order no acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or drugs, illegal drugs, and no firearms or other weapons. Don't have contact of any kind with Isamar Payanes and stay away from her home and workplace. And we'll hear, and the state's asking for a $25,000 bond. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, the victim in this case suffered no physical injury. Mr. Payanes is a lifelong resident of Tucson. His mother can provide third-party custody and transport. He has family support and alternate housing with his mother, which is away from the victim. For those reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting the court to consider release, but if you're not inclined, a bond of no more than $5,000. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I think I'm gonna go with the 25,000. October 7th, 1:30, public defender appointed. You're excused. Hello, what is your name?
Hi, Nicole Thompson.
Ms. Thompson, you are charged with domestic violence, 2 counts of, no, I'm sorry, 1 count of domestic violence, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, dangerous instrument. State's asking for $50,000 bond with pretrial services supervision if that bond is posted. I am gonna order no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or other weapons, and we'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, The victim in this case is asking the court to consider releasing Ms. Thompson out of custody. He wants contact. I don't know if he's participating today, but that is at least indicated in the pretrial services report. The other thing, Your Honor, is Ms. Thompson has absolutely no criminal history whatsoever. She informed me that she is a Suntran driver and works for the city of Tucson. She's gainfully employed. For those reasons, Judge, we would be requesting the court to consider releasing Ms. Thompson to pretrial services supervision. Thank you.
We'll hear from the state.
Judge, we understand that the victim is asking for contact and has no objection to the release. However, it sounds like from the pretrial services report, the plan would be for her to return home. She did stab the victim 2 times, and he did have another injury from a scratch mark regarding that. So the state has concerns if the defendant is able to go back and have contact with the victim. For the pretrial services report, it does say that she has a prior misdemeanor conviction, but there's no further information on what that is. So for those reasons, Judge, we're asking for the $50,000 bond.
All right, thank you.
And Judge, just briefly, the pretrial services report says under misdemeanor criminal history that criminal justice records do not reveal any prior misdemeanor TV convictions.
Okay, I'm looking at this Form 4. And there's some disturbing stuff in here.
I apologize, Judge, I don't have a copy of the Form 4C, but I'm sure the court had a chance to read it. And Judge, she informs me she has alternate housing she can live with.
I will honor the victim's request and allow contact. However, I am going to order that you not return to the residence or go to his workplace. I'm setting bond in the amount of $5,000. Your next court date is October 7th, and that's at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed to represent you. And I believe that's it. You're excused.
Hello.
Hello, your name?
Javier Villalobos.
Sir, you're charged with aggravated robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and armed robbery. I'm going to order no alcohol or illegal drugs. You're not to possess any firearms or other weapons. No contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the incident location. And you're not to have contact with co-defendant Luis Cañas Iniquas. State's asking for a $50,000 bond. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Villalobos has no criminal history. He's lived in Tucson 20 years. He does not have any failures to appear. We understand there's an NBCA flag. So Judge, given a complete lack of criminal history, we are asking you to consider release, but if you're not inclined, a $10,000 bond. Thank you.
Let's hear from the state.
Judge, we're asking for the $50,000 bond, given the nature of the offense. Per the pretrial services report on the PSA/court tab, it does indicate that he has pending charge at the time of the offense and that he has prior misdemeanor convictions. There's no further information about what those are, but he does have criminal history. He has an active NVCA flag and he has a history of failing to appear. So for those reasons, we're asking for the $50,000 bond.
All right, thank you. We'll set bond in the amount of $50,000. October 7th, 1:30, legal defender appointed. Your excuse, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. See you next time.